Fair.
And me. And I think I'm number one by a long way.
When Alexander Zverev said, "I want to be remembered," he wasn't talking about highlight reels or forehand winners. He was talking about something much deeper. For most of his career, Zverev has been one of the most polarizing figures in men's tennis. On paper, he checks almost every box: world-class athleticism, a powerful baseline game, a gold medal, multiple Masters 1,000 titles, and more than 500 career wins. But for a long time, something was missing, and fans knew it. It wasn't the results alone, it was the emotion behind them. Or rather, the lack of control over them. Zverev's career was once defined just as much by his outbursts and collapses as it was by his talent. From broken rackets to on-court meltdowns, the German's body language told a story of pressure he hadn't yet learned to shoulder. In big moments, when the world was watching, Zverev didn't always rise. He sometimes crumbled, and critics were merciless. But in 2025, the narrative has changed. At 28, Zverev seems like a man who's writing the second volume of his tennis story, one that's quieter, more composed, but far more powerful. Let's rewind. At the National Bank Open in Toronto, Zverev faced an early gut check. In the quarterfinals, he went up against Alexei Popyrin, a dangerous, big serving player who had been causing problems all week. In the past, a match like this might have triggered frustration. In fact, at 6-7, 8 down and facing unlucky net cords, it almost did. But instead of spiraling, Zverev reset. He adjusted his return position, stepped inside the baseline, and began to dictate with his forehand. The final, a mature, gritty comeback. This wasn't just a win, it was Zverev's 75th career semifinal appearance, making him only the second active player after Novak Djokovic to reach that number. Think about that. Rafael Nadal, Andy Murray, Daniil Medvedev, Stefanos Tsitsipas, none of them have hit 75 semifinals, but Zverev has. It was also his 500th career tour-level win, a milestone that puts him in elite company historically. In men's tennis, only a handful of players have ever reached that number. Most of them are Hall of Famers, but if you ask Zverev what matters most, it's not the stats, it's the story. In his post-match interview in Toronto, he said, "I want to be remembered for my tennis. I want to be remembered for what I've achieved on the court, but also for the good things I do outside the court." That last part, that's where Zverev is quietly doing something extraordinary. In 2022, Zverev launched the Alexander Zverev Foundation, an organization that supports children living with diabetes, a cause he's deeply familiar with. Diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 3, Zverev spent his entire junior and professional career managing a condition most people wouldn't associate with elite athleticism. He hid his diagnosis from the public for years, fearing he'd be judged or seen as weak, but now he's using his platform to empower others. Through the foundation, he funds research, provides insulin supplies, and runs awareness campaigns for kids across Europe. "It's about showing children that they can still achieve their dreams," he said. That shift from tennis prodigy to advocate and role model marks perhaps the most important evolution of all. Because the real Zverev story isn't just about a career comeback, it's about personal transformation. Let's be clear, 2025 hasn't been all roses. At the Australian Open, Zverev finally broke through to reach his third Grand Slam final, pushing Jannik Sinner to 5 brutal sets. He came heartbreakingly close to capturing his first major title, but once again it slipped away. Then came a rocky stretch. 6 losses in 12 matches, a first-round exit at Wimbledon. Questions about his mindset started resurfacing. Was this just another high followed by a plateau? But this time, Zverev bounced back. He regrouped in Munich, where he claimed the ATP 500 title with dominant serving and cold-blooded composure. He then made deep runs in Rome, Roland Garros, Stuttgart, and Halle, proving that consistency, not chaos, now defines his game. Heading into August, he ranked number 3 in the world and, perhaps more impressively, sits 3rd in the ATP Live race to Turin, on track to qualify for the season-ending Nitto ATP Finals once again. For years, Zverev has been a controversial figure, Allegations of domestic abuse, which he has denied, temper issues, and inconsistency have followed him. And let's be honest, many fans wrote him off as a next-gen star who would never fully deliver, but time changes people, and in Zverev's case, it's happening in full view. His 2025 run has been defined by emotional discipline. Long gone are the screaming matches with umpires or racket-smashing tantrums. Now, he closes his eyes, breathes deeply, and refocuses. Even fans are noticing. Social media comments that once mocked his breakdowns now praise his maturity. A Reddit thread during the Toronto tournament called him the most grown-up version of himself we've ever seen. Zverev, it seems, has evolved, and he's not done yet. So here we are. Zverev is 28. He has an Olympic gold medal, 2 Nitto ATP Finals titles, 5 Masters 1000 trophies, 21 ATP titles overall, and 3 Grand Slam final appearances, but no slam yet. That's the missing piece, the dragon he's still chasing. Can he do it? The competition has never been fiercer. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner are redefining power tennis. Novak Djokovic is still a menace. Daniil Medvedev and Casper Ruud are always dangerous. Even dark horses like Holger Rune and Ben Shelton can knock off top seeds, but Zverev isn't trying to outrun the field anymore. He's trying to outlast them. His game, a lethal serve, a thunderous backhand, a deceptively smooth movement, is built for longevity. But his real weapon now? It might be his mindset. In his own words, there are things bigger than tennis, but I still have dreams here, and I still believe in them. When Zverev first arrived on the scene as a teenager, expectations were sky high. People called him the next Boris Becker. By 21, he had won the ATP Finals. By 24, he was a regular in Master semis, but unlike some of his peers, he didn't explode overnight. Instead, he matured, painfully, slowly, and now fully. The once brash German is now the veteran, mentoring younger players, stabilizing under pressure, and using his platform to lead off the court. You see, Zverev's journey isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming something more powerful, self-aware. And when he says, I want to be remembered, what he's really saying is, I want to matter on and off the court. So what's next? The US Open looms, and with it, another chance at history. In 2020, Zverev was 2 points away from lifting the trophy in New York before nerves got the better of him. It still haunts him. But this time, things are different. He's no longer the underdog or the favorite. He's something more dangerous. The seasoned contender with nothing to prove and everything to gain. Whether or not he wins a Grand Slam, Zverev's transformation is already a victory. He's no longer defined by emotion. He's defined by evolution. And if he keeps playing like this, the tennis world may finally remember him the way he wants. Not just as a player, but as a man who grew into greatness.